Hey guys, welcome to another INFJ Ramble. I know it's been some time since I made videos. Just spent I've just been spending a lot of time, honestly, giving myself time to, I don't know, be present, to process everything, to process life, experiences, emotions, thoughts, to just experience them. Um, Today I was in the shower and I was thinking to make a video on love is not enough unless you love yourself. And let me elaborate on that. Um, so I know for I think I think a lot of people subscribe to the story about love is all you need, you know, like in order to have a happy relationship, love is all you need. I've come to realize that love is not all you need. Um, and maybe that's apparent to you, but it really wasn't apparent to me until 2023. And I've learned that love isn't enough between two people. And if you were to dig deeper into that, what does that even mean? Does that mean feelings of passion, feelings of connection, feelings of being understood? Does that mean that? Is that love? Um, I think people think that that's all you need is passion and fun and love. And yeah, love. Passion and fun and adventure and somebody who sees you, somebody. And yeah, that is love, but is that enough to maintain a successful union, especially if you're looking for a, a life partner? You know, are you looking for a life partner? Or are you looking for a fun partner? I guess that's what differentiates the two. Because if you're looking for a fun partner, I feel like there's hints of love in both. You know, if you're looking for a fun partner, yeah, you can experience momentary feelings of love. You know, and that's the thing: is it love or is it just a feeling? Is it a fleeting feeling? Is it a fleeting idea, a thought, a mental construct? The potential of how it could be with said person, you know. um yeah, but some people aren't looking for long-term commitments, they're just looking for momentary fun. And just because you feel loved doesn't mean that that is necessarily going to last. And if it doesn't last, is it really love, or was it just a concoction of feelings and chemicals being generated and dispersed through your body, you know? um I think a lot of people sacrifice a lot of themselves in order to acquire this love in relationships. Oh, hold on, I'm hot. I have to put on the fan. But I mean, we're calling it love and we're sacrificing ourselves and we're also putting on a mask, because I think most of us put our best foot forward when we interact with people, so they don't really see the different levels and layers that we have, that we contain, the baggage, the trauma, you know, the whole shebang. You know, they don't really see that. They just see a momentary glimpse of what could be, you know. Even in like long-term commitments, I mean, if somebody isn't consistent, if somebody doesn't respect you, if somebody doesn't bring you peace, I mean, is that love? But then we'll stay with these people because we think it's love? Or is it fear? Fear of being alone, fear of losing something, fear of letting go. You know, they're so complex, but it really isn't if you just kind of like distance yourself from the feelings and the thoughts and the idea of love, you know? And I think, is it love? Or are you sacrificing parts of yourself? are you killing parts of yourself and making yourself super small in order to fit into a space, in order to fit into a relationship, so you don't have to be alone, so you can numb out that fear, you know? I was telling somebody that choose your heart, you know, so letting go of something is hard. Holding on to someone or something for too long is hard too. Can you imagine holding your fist in place for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a year, 10 years, a lifetime? That would be very straining, and there would be a lot of tension in that. And so holding on and letting go, they're both hard. Choose your heart, you know? Self-love, I feel like, comes from knowing yourself, understanding yourself, being your own best friend, knowing what you like, knowing what you don't like, knowing what you will tolerate, knowing what you won't tolerate, knowing how long you will tolerate, you know? I mean, you can be patient and understanding, but you also have to understand that your time is so valuable. And are you going to wait on the sidelines for someone to get their act together, even though it takes 10 years, 20 years, the rest of your life? Are you going to put your life on hold and in hopes that this person will become aligned with you? That's not love. That's not self-love. You know, you're like, again, sacrificing yourself, sacrificing your happiness, your life, your time, your attention, your needs in order to appease someone else so that you can hold on to a relationship, because you're afraid of being alone, and you're afraid of being yourself, and you're afraid of going into the unknown, you know? And this also applies to myself. I was just thinking about, like, self-love. Is it really love if you have to convince someone to stay? Is it really love if it's one-sided? Is it really love if you feel triggered and you're doing the healing, but the other person isn't doing the healing, and they also aren't taking accountability or responsibility for their part? Is it love? Or is it abuse? We're so, like, caught up with the idea of love. We're so caught up with the idea of relationships or being alone. Like, it's so funny. I had a conversation with a friend. She's been alone for 9 years. And I have a lot of single friends, okay? I don't know. For some reason, they just can't find that person. And they hate it. They hate it. And then it's just like on the opposite end of that spectrum, I know a lot of people in relationships, myself not excluded, and that also comes with its problems, you know? So pick your heart. Being alone is hard. Being with someone is hard. Pick your heart, you know? Either way, it requires work. It requires self-reflection. It requires self-awareness. It requires knowing who you are so that you can give yourself the love. And I've noticed, like, in relationship dynamics, any type of relationship, honestly, it could be romantic, it could be platonic, it could be work, it could be familial. If people don't love themselves, they're just pouring a lot of their stuff onto you, whether it be like repressed anger or repressed frustration or repressed shame or guilt or resentment. You know, if they haven't healed themselves by doing the inner work, by sitting with themselves, by recognizing it, by taking accountability, responsibility, transmuting it, letting it go, healing it, they're just going to pour that stuff on you, you know? Good example. I have known someone, and this person is full of anger. On the surface, he seems really, like, is the word amicable, amiable, whatever, like pleasant. But if you were to spend a lot of time with this person, a prolonged period of time, you can see the anger and the frustration and the fear and the control and all those things. And if you stay with this person long enough, that stuff starts pouring out of them onto you. And it's like, do you tolerate that or do you not tolerate that? And the question is, do you love yourself? How much do you love yourself? Because if you loved yourself, you wouldn't tolerate abuse. You wouldn't tolerate mistreatment. You wouldn't tolerate an imbalanced connection. You just wouldn't. It just, it doesn't feel right. And then it's like we sacrifice so many years of our lives and our time and our attention towards pouring our love and care into this, but it really doesn't work out unless the other person's willing to do their work. You've done the work. Don't you think you deserve somebody who's also done the work? And even if you don't find someone who has done their work or their fair share of it, if you're your own best friend, then it should be fine being on your own, right? I don't know, things that I thought about while I was in the shower. Anyways, I have to be somewhere. I've definitely been dragging my feet, but I did want to take time to make this video and to put it out there. Food for thought, Nothing is wrong, nothing is right in this world. It's just all choices. And every choice that you make in this moment determines your future. So if you're in a stagnant relationship with a toxic partner who abuses you mentally, emotionally, those are the more subtle ones. You don't see those. It's not as physically, visible, like a bruise or a cut or something. But the mental, emotional parts, people neglect that so much, and it's so important to recognize that those parts of you, especially the mental, emotional, and spiritual parts of you, are so much more important. It's like somebody could meet your physical needs, but if they're not meeting your emotional needs or your mental needs, or even your, most especially your spiritual needs, are you going to sacrifice more of your time to that connection? Is that love? You can't make someone love you. You can't convince them. You can't force them. And that's why it's all inside of you. It starts with you. It starts with self-love. Nobody else can complete you. It's a really outdated belief system that they had us believing for a very long time. And yeah, to some degree you can help people, but ultimately they have to help themselves. And you shouldn't have to sacrifice yourself you shouldn't have to sacrifice yourself and your time waiting for that person to get what they need to do done. Anyways, I don't know if I made sense as per usual, but thank you for stopping by, and blessings to one and all. Amen.